Hey everyone, welcome to season 4 here on the Spirit of 97, the Borussia Dortmund. We have got a massive transfer window to look back on where the overall spend and money coming into the club totaled over 500 million. Plus, we've got a bit of a Champions League group of death to look at. And we've had our first 4 games of the season. We've already got 1 trophy under our belts. Played around with a few tactic ideas. Mixed results, but we'll see. We'll have a look. Let's see what's been going on. But before we take a look at these tasty transfers, if you could all do me a favour, drop a like down below, leave a comment, whatever you want to comment. You could say, Tom, your hair looks stupid, get it cut. You could say, cauliflower is traditional at Christmas time. Whatever. Just comment whatever you fancy. And then while you're there, why not just subscribe? And why not just ring the notification bell as well? It literally takes you 2 seconds. So yeah, go for it. Anyway, transfers. As you can see, we spent 300 million, but we also made 239. So our overall net spend was only 61 mil, which I think is pretty good going, really, especially when you see who we brought in. Udays and Eduardo Chico, they were some youngsters that we agreed fees for. Udays are staying in and around the club, and Eduardo Chico has gone out on loan to San Pauli. Really good, decent looking Colombian defender. And Udays is a really young, really promising looking striker, to be honest with you. Then if we drop down, it starts getting really interesting. We signed Matthijs de Ligt from Juventus. Big transfer fee for him. 124 mil in total. He was someone we were looking at in the January when we ended up signing Presnel Kimpembe. But Juventus wanted even more than what we bought from now because they really didn't want to sell him midway through the season. In terms of his contract, though, I think we've done really well. 250k a week for a player of his caliber is incredible. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Floyd Wurtz is someone else we brought in from Bayern Munich, someone to sort of freshen up that midfield. Alongside Jude Bellingham potentially. He can also, he can play central midfield, but he is predominantly a number 10. We'll look into the tactics in a bit to see where he may or may not fit in that regard. Obviously, I've spent a lot of money on him. Don't worry, he is going to be a starting player. We're just going to see what's going on elsewhere. Dario Esugo is just someone we signed as a rotation option, really, in that ball-winning midfield role. He's actually had quite a solid start with us since he's been here, to be fair. He's quite happy playing in that ball-winning midfielder role, but also seems quite comfortable playing as a half-back as well, which is something that we've started using again a little bit more. Then another big signing, Joshua Kimmish from Bayern Munich. He was transfer listed, and you know what? I'm not going to turn down a player of his ability. A lot of controversy around him at the moment in the real world. We won't really get into that. I don't want to delve into the whole politics side of things. He's just a very good player. Hopefully one of the players who's going to make a difference for us in our hunt for the Champions League. Ivo is just a young Brazilian goalkeeper that we've signed just as someone who, even if he doesn't develop well, we should still be able to make a bit of money off him. Hector Bellerin, he is someone we signed purely as a backup. Because when we look into the outgoings, you'll see why he was transfer listed at Arsenal. Arsenal didn't even get Champions League football or Europa League football last season. I may have mentioned that last time. So he was transfer listed for about 14 mil, like 14.75 mil, I think he was. But we spread it out over installments, which is why we're just paying a little bit extra. So yeah, he is someone we brought in just purely for cover at right back because if Kimmish got injured. We only really had Mauricio Piqué, who is really young, and he actually has played a couple of times this season so far, and he's looked really good, but he's still really young, and I don't want to be having to rely on him if Kimmish gets injured. Jose Salazar, he is someone who I literally picked up for, as you can see, 150k. Worst case scenario, he doesn't really develop into anything substantial, but we still sell him on. It's purely just an investment side of things. And then on deadline day, we brought in Gavi from Barcelona on loan with an option to buy him for about 70 mil. Again, someone who, if we look into sort of tweak tactics maybe a little bit, he's someone who can hopefully fill in quite nicely there, but equally, we can play him as a number 10 as well, I'm sure. So, hopefully really strengthen the team quite nicely. In terms of outgoings, Boubacar Kamara, we already knew about. He wanted to leave. We agreed a fee for him with AC Milan, made a £64 million profit off him. Aaron Martin, he didn't want to renew his contract with us. Same with Tanguy Nianzou, and both their deals expired in 12 months' time. So Tanguy Nianzou, we made about a 19 mil profit on, and Aaron Martin, we made about a 25 mil profit on. Antonio Rudiger, no disrespect to him, he was 31, 32, he'd had a massive injury last season. We brought in De Ligt, we had Kimpembe, we had Kaiki, we had a lot of other youngsters. He was probably going to impact on the playing pathway for quite a few players. So we sold him. RB Leipzig were quite happy to take him off our hands. We signed him on a free, so that's another 30 mil profit there. Nordi Mukiel, there was interest in him, and I wanted to raise some more money. So we were quite happy to sell him. He only played with us for one season, and we still made a very small profit on him. Ansgar now, I think we did really well to get 11 million for him. He had 12 million left on his deal, 12 months left on his deal, and he's gone to PSV. He's had a solid start, 2 goals in 4 games. Really happy to let him go for that amount of money. Königsdorfer just hadn't developed, and with Adeyemi, Mokoko, Arezzo, and Udez, and a couple of other players kicking around who could play striker, it just made sense to let him go. Other outgoings, Caligari, so he's why we ended up bringing in Bayern. He wanted to go. An offer came in for him from Juventus, and we managed to get 29 mil for him. Trying to get his release clause was going to be very, very difficult at 51 mil. So he went out on to Juventus for 29 mil. Best luck to him. He was decent for us, but don't get me wrong, he's no Joshua Kimmish. So, he was essentially going to become a backup player for us and just lose value. So it made sense to get him out of the club. Before we look into tactics and lineup and stuff, we just need to spare a moment just to honour Mr. Dortmund, Marco Reus. Marco Reus announced his retirement on the 15th of July. No Champions League as a player for Marco Reus, but we did manage to get 2 Bundesligas for him, and we also obviously got the German Cup again. He's not the best coach, but he has joined our under-19s coaching setup for now, and he's working on his badges, so hopefully he's someone who can become really good for the club. I just wanted to keep him around, really. Very attached to that man. So we've talked about tactics, so I've created 2 new tactics. Now, this is the one we're using at the moment, and I'll explain why very, very soon. But this is Kimmish is injured. He got injured on international duty. Kaiki is also injured, as is Floyd Wurtz. So options-wise at the moment, we're kind of struggling. But this is the lineup we're probably going to be going with. Rafa Leao was also injured as well, I believe. And I will come on to that one very soon. But overall, squad depth is looking okay. We've got Andre Onana, whose rating has gone up. PK is possibly going to be the right back in this game, but it might be Bayern, I'm not sure. De Ligt has had a very solid start. Kimpembe, Nuno Mendes, he has just come back from injury, so it'll be touch and go if he's going to be fit for this game. Franck Kessié, Jude Bellingham, Karim Adeyemi, Yusuf Demir, Andreas Sheldrup, just because he's wanting more game time at the moment. So I kind of said, you can have it. And then Mokoko, and then Arezzo. We're going to start using him in and around the first team at the moment. He had a really good game the other week, which we'll look into in a second. Still not 100% convinced by him, if I'm being honest, at the moment. He's going to need to sort of start putting some, runs of form together before I'm convinced that he can be a really good, solid option for us. Tactics-wise, so I created this tactic. This isn't the way it was around. So we had Adeyemi on the left and Leao on the right. That's just because of the changes I've made to sort of fit them back into the classic formation. Basically, with this, I was using Bellingham as a CM attack because I feel like his contributions in the last 3 seasons, he's been really good for us. And I know we shouldn't judge him just on his output, but I really feel like we could get more from him. Like, especially when you look last season, 9 goal contributions the season before, 16. Only 1 player of the match each season. I really feel like we could be getting even more out of him. So I thought, if I put him on a CM attack, then, sound. And it did work. He got a hat-trick in the cup, although it was against some like Bundesliga 3 team or regional team. And then we were going for the 3 strikers because I thought, Mokoko had a cracking season last season. Adeyemi is someone who, we could probably start using up front a little bit more as well. even though he's predominantly been on the wing recently. Let's have a look at his history. Let's check his history. 10 assists last season, 11 assists the season before, all from the wing. But I think, could we get more goal scoring output from him? Like, let's put him in midfield, like in attack. And these 3 assists have all come as playing as that pressing forward on the left hand side, like playing here. And then, we play Leal there as the deep line forward. Both these players have got roam from position because these are kind of like the creative players alongside the Mazzala, who is either going to be Sheldrup or Wurtz. Let's look at schedule. So, I already said we won a trophy. We won the Super Cup. We beat Leipzig 2-0. 2 goals from De Ligt from 2 Joshua Kimmish corners. Garking was the cup win. Sheldrup scoring a penalty, which was won by Kaiki from a corner. Then Kaiki getting 2 goals from corners. Leao, Bellingham getting a hat-trick. Oliver Darnan, our young Finnish striker, he got his goal. And then we beat Bayer Leverkusen 2-1. Again, 2 corners. This time Kimpembe. We then beat Mainz, drew with Mainz 2-2, Rafael Leao and Frank Cassier saving us. We then beat Freiburg 5-1, a hat-trick from Arezzo in the first half, and then a goal and 2 goals from corners, again for Kimpembe and De Ligt. We'll take a look at that game. Now, this is using the 4-3-3 this game. It's still very much in its infancy. So we see a lovely ball from Adeyemi through for Arezzo, who scores his first league goal for the club after having a really good season out on loan at Cologne. Cologne then pegged us back. So this is something I've noticed with this formation at the moment, this tactic. I'm not sure if it's just poor cohesion, but some defensive errors. It was 2 defensive errors against Mainz, which saw us 2-0 down. And obviously you see one there, poor communication, I think, from De Ligt and Kimmish leaving the ball and Onana not coming out for the ball. But then we see the corner from Kimmish leading to the goal from Kimpembe. Another through ball from Adeyemi for Arezzo, who plays a subtle, lovely chip over the keeper to get his second goal of the game. And then I believe it's another corner, this time from Mendes, So Mendes crosses it in and De Ligt at the far post with the bullet header. So we've created a few set-piece routines for this new tactic to sort of try and make the most of De Ligt, Kimpembe's aerial prowess and Kimmish's, awesome set-piece delivery. Got Kimmish crossing it in, Adeyemi with the header, saved by Horn, and Arezzo gets his hat-trick. So, thinking great, 5-1 against Freiburg, really good team in the Bundesliga, been doing really well of late. So we're playing 18th place Stuttgart away from home, who've only just been promoted. So I'm thinking, okay, what we'll do is we've got a big game coming up against Chelsea in the Champions League. We'll get into that in a bit. And a couple of injuries and a couple of people not, fully fit, just come back off international duty as well. Let's try and keep people fresh. So I don't know if you can see, obviously you can see the result. Match ratings aren't overly important, but basically we played Arezzo. He got a 6.2. I actually meant to take Frank Cassier out of the team. For some reason, when I went to bring in Asugo, it didn't put him in. He got a 6.2 because he gave away a penalty on the 8th minute. Kimpembe had a poor game. Gabriel Veron had a poor game. We had to take Gabriel Veron off at half-time because he was so terrible and brought on Leao. And that's when he got injured. Floyd Wurtz had a poor game. Moukoko, we brought on for Arezzo. He didn't really have much chance to influence. Mokoko's not actually scored yet in a competitive game this season. All these goals he scored in pre-season were with the new tactic. I don't know why he's struggling at the moment to get goals in the league. Obviously, this friendly here against Sevilla, it was in between two competitive games. We lost 4-0. It was 2-0 down after 8 minutes, and we seemed a bit shell-shocked. I don't know if it's the tactic or what. I don't know what it is, but something just completely went wrong. Whether it was just one of those games we just completely fell apart, I don't know why. Currently leaves us in 6th after 4 games, so 3 points off the top. So, it's not that devastating at this point in time. But yeah, we've got a game against Chelsea next. The rest of our Champions League group is Benfica and Salzburg. Now, we're top seeded, and I thought being top seed meant we were supposed to get a favourable draw. For me, Chelsea and Benfica are no pushovers. We did beat Benfica in our first season in the Champions League over 2 legs quite comfortably in the end. But for me, I'm still like, Benfica are a good team. And Salzburg, are not to be dismissed, in my opinion. They just lost away from home 1-0 to Benfica in the early kickoff, but they are not to be dismissed, if you ask me. So yeah, we've got a game today away at Chelsea, and we're just going to be going with our traditional asymmetrical 4-1-4-1 tactic, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, we did the tactics test on it the other week. If you haven't seen that, I'll put the link for the video at the end of this video if you've not seen it yet. Obviously, it works very well, generally speaking. I've not got anything against it. I just wanted to try something different, just experiment, and see if we could get any, more favourable results, because obviously our tactic has generally been quite good, but the last 2 seasons we've got knocked out at the quarterfinals at the Champions League stage, at the Champions League. So, whether that's purely just personnel, I don't know. But yeah, just wanted to try something a bit different. If you've got any thoughts on that, do let me know. We have set up a third tactic, literally just. I'm not going to look into that too much yet, because I'm not going to start using it anytime too soon, because I've literally only just done it. So I want the players to sort of practice a little bit on the training ground first before we start using it in games. So we are away from home here against Chelsea in our first group game in the Champions League. I've had to make a slight sort of change to what I had planned, because Demi is not fully fit, really. So Bellingham's going to go into the shadow striker, because he suits that role a little bit better than Garvey. Yeah, going to be a tough game, I think. We're going with PK at right back, because Bayern is also not fully fit. That injury to Kimmish is really, really just disappointed me big time, because he has such a strong start to the season. Mendes has just come back from injury. He's going to play at the wing-back role. And we've got Solomon Tajani on the bench, who has had a decent start this season. He's our young 18-year-old left-back. We actually signed from Chelsea. So yeah, he's definitely got a really good, promising career with us. So here we go against the Chelsea team in form. 4 wins from the first 4 games. They've got an interesting back line of Gianluca Mancini and Joe Gomez. Still got likes of Lukaku, Havertz, Pulisic, Mount, Werner and Ziyech, I think, as well. Media predicting Chelsea win. So let's see. Wilfred and Ndidi as well. That was it. Wilfred and Ndidi is the number 6. Havertz and Mount in the midfield. Like the midfield 2. Zaniolo, that was it. Zaniolo, not Ziyech. Reece James. Ben Chilwell still on the left. Now, Chelsea didn't have a great season last season, to be fair, in this game. They were outside the Champions League spots, I think, until about the last 2 games. But, they still got there, and they still got a really good team. So, we cannot dismiss their potency, put it this way, in this Champions League group. And I think they're a real threat to us, to be honest with you, and could really potentially threaten our opportunity of qualifying first in the group. And ball from Ndidi, surely that's a booking. Nuno Mendes, PK with the shot. Oof. A good effort from Monsieur PK there. I will show you his screenshot in a bit, actually. You think he's already 3-star rated, and he's still only about 18, 19. We signed him from Boca, I think last season, but he just stayed out on loan for the rest of the Argentinian season. And then he came back to us in the summer, maybe. Yeah, that's fine. I thought I already told you to press Reece James. Garvey, poor pass from Garvey. Lukaku looked like he was offside to me. Now, I know Garvey's more natural role is an advanced playmaker, but he should definitely be able to fulfill that box-to-box role that Bellingham generally does pretty well for us. I see no reason why he can't do that job. Great save from Onana. Yeah, all his attributes should suggest that he should be perfectly capable of playing that role. So the way this game's going at the moment, I'll already take a draw here. In fact, I'm going to go to positive. Oh, my word. What is that from Kimpembe? Truly, it was like he just completely, just messed up with the pass, tapped the ball. Can you just get rid of it? What are you doing, Kimpembe, there? That was Awful. Chelsea all over us. Zaniolo, safe hands from Onana. Not a single shot on target yet after 20 minutes. Adeyemi plays it all the way back to Onana. Interesting. Kimpembe, come on. Mendes, shoulder up. Garvey, come on. Yes, great ball. Bellingham coming through. Oh. That was a great ball from Garvey, though. That's what I want him to do. Play those sort of passes. Bellingham making such a lovely run from deep. Well away, De Ligt. Garvey, Mendes, shoulder up, come on. Send it forward again. You know the drill. Send it forward. Moukoko is going to make those runs in behind all day. Bellingham. Back to Kessie. Oh, my word. What a terrible, terrible pass. Thank you, Lukaku. Mendes will lap that up. Sends it back. Send it forward now. Not like that. Oh, my days. Oh, for feck's sake. Thankfully, he tried to chip the keeper from there and got it all wrong. Send it back, Bellingham. That's fine. Kessie, lovely ball. Mendy's well off his line. Fair play to him. That's great goalkeeping. Kimpembe, Garvey, shoulder up. Moukoko, yes. Mendes, whip it in now. Come on, Nuno. No. Should have played it in earlier than that. Stop fannying around. Garvey, Adeyemi, Moukoko, he's offside. Someone was definitely offside there. If Moukoko wasn't, I think Adeyemi was. I think Adeyemi's offside. Was offside. Moukoko definitely was. Been under the cosh here, so let's drop some encouragement. Yeah, Mendes is knackered because he's only just come back from a calf strain. But he's just too influential to sort of leave out if we can avoid it. I will bring on Tijani at half time. He is a good player, to be fair. Shoulder up. Mendes now. Should always be looking for the run of Moukoko because he will make the runs in behind with this tactic all the time. Dear me, those forward progressive passes, particularly from the back two from Kimpembe and De Ligt, are just not coming off. Come on, Nuno, hurry up. Yes, come on, Garvey. Yes! Yes, Garvey! 1-0. What a finish. Completely against the run of play. We recycled the ball really well, but completely against the run of play. Moukoko, lovely layoff. Garvey places it into the corner. Beautiful. Poor Chelsea. Bloody hell. Poor Chelsea. Here we go, second half. We've done that change. Tijani is on for Nuno Mendes. I think it's too early to start spithousing, to be honest with you. As we say. If you follow The Athletic, you'll know what I mean when I talk about spithousing. Speaking of The Athletic, actually, I'm really excited to do my next save after this one. It's not going to be as soon as this save finishes when we win the Champions League. I'm not going to go straight into it because obviously we've got the Pentagon still going, which is obviously our sort of evergreen save, if you want. It's going to be the save that runs pretty much throughout the whole of the FM22 lifespan. He was well offside, surely. It's a great run and a great pick out from Makoko, but I'm pretty sure. I don't think he was fractionally offside. I think he was miles offside. Goal disallowed. Let's see the fractional offside here. That's not fractional, mate. That is not fractional. You are chatting rubbish. Yeah, I'm really excited to do it. So basically, it probably seems like I'm jumping on a trend here. It's not. So, if you're in the Discord, you'll know because I've talked about this. So, I've been wanting to do like an Eastern Bloc type save for quite some time. And by that I mean, like, basically I wanted to, like, Serbia or Croatia or like Czech Republic, although Czech Republic kind of got put off with the whole Sparta Prague racism row. It's just like I don't want to really go anywhere near there. But the other one that appealed to me was Austria. Now I know obviously Zealand is doing his Floridsdorfer save. So it probably looks like I'm jumping on the Austria bandwagon. I'm not. I'd already planned on doing this a good few months ago before Z announced his save. Garvey! Yes, boyo! Yes, second goal for Garvey. Second goal. Lovely little passing from Kessie, who's coming off now to be replaced by Asugo because Kessie was very tired. We'll take Sheldrup off as well, actually. We'll bring on Gabi Veron, see if he can make up for his shocking performance last time out. And the other one, so I was thinking of either doing Partizan Belgrade or Sturm Graz. Ooh. Good finish from Lukaku. Demand a bit more. Or Sturm Graz, kind of because I like the name. And Partizan Belgrade are kind of like the, sort of the lesser Belgrade at the moment behind Red Star. Bellingham should have made it 3-1. We're going to start Spithousing a bit now. Slow the tempo down. Start time wasting not whenever we get the opportunity, but every now and then. Goalkeeper, don't necessarily slow it down. Counter when we win the ball, but don't necessarily worry about the counter press when we get it back. Drop the defensive line slightly. Start playing for set pieces. Okay. Yeah, Sturm Graz, kind of because I like the name. And I thought of a good name for the save based on that as well. Or Partizan because try and displace Red Star as the number one team in Serbia and then go for Champions League glory. But I'm probably going to lean more towards Sturm Graz because basically Sturm Graz are in a relatively good position in Austria. They are probably like in the top 4 or 5 teams. They're currently, I think they're in the Conference League or the Europa League at the moment, to be fair as well. Obviously, the ultimate aim is going to be displacing Salzburg. And I think the way I'm going to go about that, I'm quite excited about. We're going to start slowing pace down even more, holding the shape, be more disciplined, everything. Let's just grind this result out now. I'm quite excited about the way I'm going about that. And the other reason I've gone for them over Partizan is because Partizan have actually reached the Champions League final before, back in the 1960s. They did lose, but yeah. And Sturm Graz are a slightly smaller club, not necessarily in terms of reputation, although they probably are. But like the stadium's a bit smaller. There's more potential for expansion and growth. I think, as in like the difference that we can make. Also, what a great result 2-1 against Chelsea with our backs against the wall pretty much all the way through. So yeah, we're probably going to do the Sturm Graz save. Basically, to cut a long story short, that'll probably start around February, March, because fingers crossed, this series should be done. It'd be nice before the new year. I'd like to think we could win the Champions League before then. If not, with the players we've got, I'm doing something really wrong, aren't I? So that'll be kicking off. And basically, I think the way we're going to go about it is, speaking of the Athletic, as I mentioned, I was reading an article about the Group G in the Champions League, which had like Lille, Wolfsburg, Salzburg, and Sevilla. Salzburg and Lille went through, I believe. But they had an interview with the Salzburg director of football. I think his name's Christoph Freund, maybe, or Kevin Freund. And he was basically saying, like, the way Salzburg do their business is really actually quite interesting. Like 40 to 60% of their first 11 is academy players. They have like one 36-year-old who's their captain. And the rest, basically their scouting setup is they look for players between the age of 18 and 23. That's all they do. They just sign players of that age, and because they know they're going to sell them on. So like they buy them cheap, take a risk. Some of them might not turn out. Adeyemi, who's saying was a bit of a risk because at the age of 16, he didn't look stellar. He didn't look like he was very much like an uncut diamond. I think like they knew he had the potential, but it was how you're going to get that out of him. And obviously he's done really well this season. He's been courted by Dortmund. He's been courted by Bayern Munich, Liverpool, and Chelsea, I believe. So we're going to basically just try and channel that model onto Sturm Graz. So we're going to focus on academy and youth recruitment with a view to winning a European competition within the first maybe 3 to 4 seasons. So be that Conference League or Europa League, preferably Europa League, and then try and be a Champions League competitor and ideally reach a final within about 8 or 9 years, 9 seasons if we can. It's probably going to be very difficult, but I think if we can buy well, achieve well, recruit well, sell well, and build the club, then I think, it certainly stands to reason. The reason why we're going for Sturm Graz and we're not doing a Zealand and going for a Division 2 team is because this save is going to start like sort of springtime next season, and I don't think we'll have time to go in for like a full-on like 15, 20 season save at that point where we take like a League 2 team from Austria in this case, and in Zealand's case, take them all the way up to the very, very top of like European football in that time. I just don't think it's going to be doable. So that's why we're going to go for a League 1 team, an Austrian Bundesliga team in Sturm Graz. And yet the save will be called the Eye of the Sturm. The Eye of the Sturm. You know you like it. The Eye of the Sturm. It's a great little play on words. And that's what it's going to be called. So that's going to be the save that's going to drop around March time. Gives me a good couple of months just to devote solely on the Pentagon to really progress that. And then we'll kick things off probably around February, March time with Sturm Graz. In the meantime, between when we finish this save and starting that one alongside the Pentagon, I'll probably do a few rebuilds. I did touch on that recently. I might do a Bayer Leverkusen one. For those of you who don't know, 2022 is the 20th anniversary of their infamous Bridesmaids season, where they came second in the Bundesliga, lost in the Pokal final, so the German FA Cup, and they also lost in the Champions League final. That was the one where they lost to Real Madrid when Zidane scored the goal, probably one of the best, if not the best, Champions League goal in a Champions League final. Certainly until, it was probably the best goal until Gareth Bale smashed that overhead kick in against Liverpool. It was like the undisputed one. I still think it is the undisputed one. The Zidane volley from the edge of the box from the Roberto Carlos pullback, which was like looped up and he just smashed it in the volley first time into the top corner. That's why for me Zidane is probably one of the best players, if not the top 3 or the best player. He is my favourite player of all time, Zidane. Just his ability was just insane. You can overlook, for me, I overlook the way his career ended. I think it was a shocking way for his career to end, but I don't think he was solely blameless in that. His reaction was over the top, yes, but I think when you hear the comments afterwards, you can kind of understand why he reacted the way he did. That's a story for a different time. Zizou, best player of all time, and we will look at that Leverkusen rebuild, probably try and get them to League, and Champions League glory would be nice. But if you want to see me do any other rebuilds, you want to see me do any other tactic tests or whatever, drop a thought down below, and I will certainly look into doing it for you. This episode has probably been a bit longer than planned. Obviously, we had to look into transfers, tactic tweaking, and obviously we had the game against Chelsea, which we won 2-1. I kind of blitzed through the post-match stuff, but we actually had more possession than them, even though we had less shots. And we won 2-1 thanks to Gavi with his first 2 goals for the club. Could be a new little role there. Gavi in the BBM. Bellingham as a shadow striker, maybe. Bellingham didn't have a great goal in the shadow striker role, but when you look at his attributes, he should definitely be able to play it to a decent standard. I'm really happy with that. What a way to start our Champions League with a 2-1 win away at Chelsea in a relative group of death for me. So yeah, take it easy, everyone. I'll see you next time. I'm now going to go and record the next episode of the Pentagon Challenge. So I will see you soon. Stay safe, and yeah, don't forget, like, subscribe, notification bell, and while you're at it, chuck a cheeky comment for that 4th point. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye.